You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired on Monday, the 7th of February of 1927.
Today, Aunt Sammy will broadcast a number of ways to use jelly that is too thick or too thin to grace the dinner table unaccompanied. Besides the jelly suggestions, there is an old-fashioned baked ham dinner with a dessert that will have universal appeal. Menu and recipes approved by the United States Bureau of Home Economics.
I have here a letter from a listener in South Dakota who wants to know whether there are any practical ways of using jelly that is not quite perfect. I want to use up the jelly on my shelves before it's time to make a new supply, she writes. Some of the jelly that I have now does not come up to the standard of a clear, sparkling, tender, quivery jelly with a fresh fruit flavor. When I turn out one of my glasses of perfect jelly, it holds its shape, and the spoon goes into it easily and leaves a clean-cut surface. But not all my jelly is so perfect. My fruit was sometimes overripe, and I did not get the right proportion of sugar. That jelly was too thin. It needed more acid, I realized later. Some other batches I overcooked, and that jelly is stiff and gummy. Can you tell me some good ways to use up these jellies, which my pride as a jelly maker will not allow me to serve plain on the table? Here is the answer to her question from the recipe specialist in the Bureau of Home Economics. The first is a dessert of jelly and apples. To make this, pare and core apples of a variety that will hold their shape well and cook them in a sugar syrup till tender. Make the syrup in the proportion of 1 cup of sugar to 2 cups of water. Boil the syrup a few minutes before the apples are put in. There should be enough syrup to cover the apples, and the pan should be covered during cooking. When the apples are done, take them out of the syrup and drain them. Fill the core cavities with some of your thin jelly. These apples are served hot, with hard sauce made of butter and sugar. Here's another dessert using very soft jelly that you may not have thought of. Old-fashioned pancakes of tender texture, light and thin, are excellent when spread with thin jelly, rolled up, and covered with powdered sugar. The cake should be about the size of an ordinary saucer. It's necessary to work fast when making this dessert, because the pancakes are much better when they're served hot. Or pastry shells, baked on inverted muffin tins, may be partly filled with soft jelly and garnished with whipped cream. Soft jelly may also be used in jelly roll, made with sponge cake. Blancmange, custards, and bread puddings may be dressed up with a few spoonfuls of soft jelly. Very tart soft jelly, such as grape, adds flavor and variety to the gravy for lamb or mutton. Stir the jelly into the hot gravy just before serving. Soft jelly also makes an excellent foundation for a fruit punch. Use your stiff jelly in jelly omelet and jelly muffins. In making jelly muffins, part of the batter is dropped into the muffin tin, a cube of jelly is put in the middle, and the rest of the muffin batter on top. Very easily made and very good. If you have leftover pie dough, cut it into small rounds, drop a bit of very stiff jelly on each round, and bake. These are attractive for tea or to serve with dessert. Next on the program is the menu for tomorrow's dinner. I'm going to give you directions for baking a ham, one of those with the rich brown coating dotted with cloves and the juicy pink lean meat. Doesn't that make your mouth water? Here's the entire menu. Baked ham, sweet potatoes with apples, quick-cooked spinach, and orange gelatin. For baking, I like a ham large enough to last for several meals. We have it served hot the first time, and then sliced cold. The ends, which do not make nice-looking slices, I grind and use in sandwiches and omelets. No scrap of ham ever goes to waste in our house. Even the ham bone I sometimes cook with cabbage for seasoning. And here is my recipe for baked ham. You'll need pencils now. Select a 9 or 10-pound ham and scrub it thoroughly. If very salty, soak it overnight. For cooking, to each pound of ham, allow at least 1 quart of boiling water, or enough to cover. Place the ham in the hot water, and to a 9 or 10-pound ham, add 1 carrot sliced, 2 stalks of celery, 1 teaspoon of celery salt, 3 sprigs parsley, 1 onion sliced, 2 or 3 bay leaves, and 1/2 cup of strong vinegar. Cover and then simmer for 4 or 5 hours, counting the time from the beginning of the simmering period. 25 minutes to the pound will be about the right time. Test by using a skewer or a fork with long tines, and turn the ham so it will cook evenly on both sides. Add more hot water as the ham liquor evaporates. The ham should be covered with water during the entire cooking period. After the ham is tender, let it stand overnight in the liquor, or, if you wish to serve it hot, remove the skin at once, wait until the surface of the ham is cool, then cover with the following mixture. 3 cups brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of mustard, 3 cups of fine soft breadcrumbs, cider or vinegar to moisten. Shall I repeat the ingredients? 3 cups brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of mustard, 3 cups of fine soft breadcrumbs, cider or vinegar to moisten. Mix these ingredients and spread over the top side of the ham until entirely covered. Press long-stemmed whole cloves into the coated fat at intervals. These help to hold on the paste and also season the meat. Place the ham in a hot oven to form a crust quickly, then reduce the temperature and baste frequently with a mixture of ham liquor and cider or vinegar until the ham is evenly browned. Salt and sweet is a good combination of flavors, judiciously used. That is why sweet potatoes go well with ham and other smoked meats. But instead of having uninteresting boiled or baked sweet potatoes, we shall have sweet potatoes with apples. Boil your sweet potatoes in their skins in the morning. Peel and slice them. Arrange the slices in a baking dish with alternate layers of raw sliced apples, generously dotted with butter and sprinkled with brown sugar. A 1/2 cup of water in the bottom of the dish will prevent the sugar from caramelizing and scorching, and make a small amount of syrup. Top off with buttered breadcrumbs and cook in the oven when you are baking your ham until the apples are tender. Spinach will be appetizing with this dinner. One of the secrets of cooking spinach, so that it loses scarcely any its valuable vitamins and the iron and other minerals it furnishes, is to use but little water, just enough water to keep the spinach from scorching until it is wilted. Then it will cook in its own liquor. Another point is to cook it the shortest possible time, 10 minutes, or only long enough to make it tender. Finally, chop it up very fine and blend with it a little butter as well as seasonings, but don't cook it long. Every bit of the liquid brought out in cooking spinach should be served with it, or saved for soup another day. Some of the most important food substances of spinach are dissolved in this liquid. Orange gelatin will be an excellent dessert to conclude this menu. It must, of course, be made early in the day, so as to have time to set. This is distinct advantage to the housewife, because the dessert will be ready when she wants it, without further effort. Orange gelatin should be made of fresh orange juice, except for the small amount of water needed to soften and dissolve the gelatin and the sugar. The idea is to increase the day's supply of vitamins by those contained in the oranges. It is especially important if you have children in the household to give them orange juice as often and in as many forms as possible. Elderly people, too, who must often be careful what they eat, may have this delicate and delicious dessert without fear of bad results. Fruit gelatins take only a few minutes to prepare. The proportion is usually 1 envelope of gelatin to 1 quart of liquid. Put 1 envelope or 1 ounce of gelatin into 1/2 cup of cold water to soften for about 2 minutes. Squeeze as many oranges as you need to make 2 1/4 cups of strained juice, and add the juice of 1/2 a lemon to intensify the flavor. Put 1 cup of water on to heat with 3/4 of a cup of sugar or less, depending on the acidity of the fruit. When the syrup is boiling, take it from the stove and put the moistened gelatin into it. Stir until the gelatin is entirely dissolved, then mix with the orange and lemon juice. In this way, the orange juice is not cooked at all. Strain and pour into a large mold, or into individual molds if you like. You do not need any sauce with this orange gelatin, but a soft custard would be good with it, or plain or whipped cream. The entire menu, lest it has slipped your mind, is baked ham, sweet potatoes with apples, quick-cooked spinach, and orange gelatin. A very good menu for the radio cookbooks, isn't it? If you have not received your radio cookbook, you may have one by writing to me in care of this station. When writing for your cookbook, please remember that stamps are not necessary. The cookbooks are free. And be sure to write your name and your address, plainly. A good many of you have asked me recently if the cookbooks can be sent to friends who do not have radios of their own, but who listen in on your radios. It seems to me that these friends who listen in are entitled to cookbooks. If you will send me their names and their addresses, I will be glad to add their names to the mailing list.
This broadcast was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.